Hello there. What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to be taking a look at Star Wars Legion, the Clone Wars, the B1 Battle Droids, because they look pretty darn cool. And I think I'm just going to break down the unit card a little bit and talk about the new mechanics that they're going to be introducing to the game, because they're going to play very differently from other units that you've already seen. Before I dive too deep into that, I do want to remind you, if you're new here or if you didn't already know, there's a big new round of the giveaway going on right now, and you can win the two Star Wars Celebration Black Series exclusives, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Maul. I will ship those worldwide. All you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment. Let me know what you think your favorite unit in Star Wars Legion is going to be, or just let me know what your favorite character in the prequels is. Maybe somebody that you're hoping comes to Star Wars Legion. I personally am really hoping to see Darth Maul and Mace Windu kind of show up in this game, but I'd love to hear what you guys think about that as well. Also, I do want to give a big shout out to Daydream Gaming. They actually hooked me up with this shirt, so I definitely like the shirt as well. You know, kind of living for one of those amazing gaming moments, and this is kind of one of those that you might just have. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into the B1 Battle Droids. So, I gotta tell you, I really like the way that they look. They're going to be on hard plastic. They're going to be on a sprue. Probably going to take a little while to assemble, but I think I'm okay with that because dude, it's going to be amazing when you finally actually have a swarm of these on your table. They look very, very detailed. You know, we're getting blue bases with these guys, but don't really want to talk about the minis as much. I really want to talk about the units, because in our spread, we actually got a pretty good look at the units. So let's go ahead and zoom in on this. Now, first off, we're getting 6 minis per unit. That's base. Every other core gives you 4. So you're getting 6 ultimate swarm right away. Plus, we've got personnel, comm, and heavy weapons. Now, this is crazy, because with personnel and heavy weapons, you can add 2 more. So now you can have a unit of 8 units in a core unit. That's absolutely ridiculous. And it's only 36 points. So Separatists are going to be your Zerg Swarm faction. That's definitely one unique thing about them. They're going to have these units that are just incredibly large. You're going to really fill up the battlefield if you want to. And considering they're that cheap, you can probably easily afford to fill up the battlefield. And may actually complicate some people's storage options as well, because you're not really built for having 8 units in one single unit. So, you know, that may add some complications, or maybe a wonder for all of the aftermarket storage companies out there. They're like, we get to make something all new now. So that's an interesting aspect. But looking at them, they only roll a white die for melee, which is not very strong. They roll a white die at range 1 to 3 for their ranged combat. They are speed 2. They have a white defense die, 1 health, 1 courage, and no surge. Now, some of you are probably wondering, well, why do they have courage? And I get that they're droids. They're going to kind of do whatever they're kind of told to do, but we do kind of get the idea that some of these droids have a little bit of a personality, and I think that's kind of programmed into them, and they don't seem like they're particularly brave or ruthless. And also, I think it's probably a matter of, gameplay. They needed to have this courage value, because gameplay needs to trump lore just a little bit more in this case. So that's, I'm okay with them having only 1 courage. They shouldn't be particularly, they have a certain degree of self-preservation programmed in. So I'll probably leave it at that. But now, considering that they have a white die and no surge of any kind, white die for defense, white die for offense, they're basically one of the worst units in the game on face value, right? I mean, what compensates that is their numbers and their cheap cost. So I think that's what kind of helps compensate it. Now they do have range 3, so in theory you could make a worse unit if they were only range 2 or something like that. You could kind of scale it down. So maybe they're not the absolute bottom of the barrel, but they're pretty darn bad. But with 6 minis in the core unit, they seem pretty good. But now we got to talk about these abilities. So we've got AI Attack and Coordinate Droid Trooper. So AI Attack is the first thing we're going to talk about, because this one's really good. Unless you have a face-up order token, your first action must be an attack if able. Now, that's very thematic, and also really interesting the more you think about it. I'm like, okay, well, fine, we'll attack. Now, how many times, if you've played Legion a lot, you'll know that most of the time, I tell people, like when I demo Legion for people, to simplify it, I tell people usually you're going to move and shoot or aim and shoot. And sometimes you'll move and move. Those are the 3 most common things that people tend to do, in normal games. Now, obviously, like high-level tournament play and objective play, you're going to do some other things. You'll do standbys, sometimes you'll do dodges and stuff like that. But my point is, usually you move and shoot, or aim and shoot, or move and move. You almost never shoot first. It's very rare that you want to shoot first, unless, of course, there's a unique situation where I want to shoot and then get out of the way. But the fact that they're being forced to shoot first means a whole lot of things for this unit. First off, it means that they're not going to be able to aim first. So they're not going to be able to modify those dice at all, which, considering how beneficial aim can be for white dice, that's a bummer. But it also means they can't move first. And that's a huge thing, because maybe Luke Skywalker's right there with a dodge token, and I'm forced to shoot him, and now he's going to deflect it, and it's all going to come back at me. You have a pretty good chance of taking some damage in return. So you don't necessarily always want to have to shoot first, especially if maybe it's Chewbacca that's in front of me, and he's put himself there deliberately because he was expecting the AI attack to happen, and he's got like 3 wounds, and we're going to push him right to the wound threshold, exactly where he wants to be. So that is a problem. Also, this means you can't move. If you need your B1 Battle Droids to be able to go and take an objective, or to try to move and claim an objective or something like that, this means you can't do that. Because one of your 2 actions is going to be forced to be an attack. It is taking up your action. So this is like, there's so much that goes into this. Like, AI attack is really a downfall. Like, they've made, you would be better off if you weren't forced to do that, because they're taking away your decision. So effectively, you're only getting 1 attack each turn. 1 action each turn. You only always get 1 attack each turn. You're only getting 1 action each turn, and it comes after your attack. So you're not really, it limits your choices on who you can attack, whoever happens to already be within range. And a smart opponent will be able to put somebody in range who is, definitely, well defended. I might put, a Luke Skywalker in heavy cover. I might put, something like that. I might put, a unit in standby, and, well, maybe not standby, because then they're going to lose, we'll get a suppression. But my point is, you can put somebody designed to defend against them, especially maybe your best unit for defending, in the perfect spot. So AI attack is not bad. It's usually always better to move and then be able to attack if you wanted to do that, or aim and then attack, or be able to move and claim, or move and move, or do something like that. Play more objective based, especially with a unit that's so cheap. You may be very tempted to just drop one of these, like future lists. Once we have dozens of expansions for these factions, this will probably be always one of those factions like, I don't even have 40 points left. Oh, but I can drop some B1 Battle Droids in there for trying to take the objective. But good luck trying to do that, because they have AI. So their second ability is Coordinate Droid Trooper. After you are issued an order, you may issue an order to a friendly droid trooper at range 1. So that's kind of their built-in theme, both of these together, because AI is telling us, hey, we need an order token. Well, if I'm running 3 core, and I play standing orders first turn, well, I'm only going to be able to give one of my B1 Battle Droids an order. But if I've formed like a chain of them, or they're all close enough to each other, I can issue standing orders to one B1 Battle Droid, and that B1 Battle Droid can then follow Coordinate Droid Trooper, issue an order to another B1 Battle Droid, and then that B1 Battle Droid can then trigger its Coordinate Droid Trooper, issue another one, and you can just have a daisy chain of orders going boom, 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 boom. And so, like, what this allows for an awful lot of orders to be issued. So if let's say I do like a 3-pip and I'm issuing 3 orders, now as my commander, I can, if I'm Grievous, for example, I can issue Grievous an order. I can issue, a support an order, and then I can issue 1 order to a B1 Battle Droid, which can then chain it to everybody else. And maybe my entire army now has orders, or maybe I've got one. Maybe I've got 1 unit. Maybe you got a special forces or something in the pile but you know that you can pull from it whenever you want. So you can really, really maximize your battlefield control if you're able to set them up correctly. And that's kind of where it all boils down to, because I think the 2 key points of playing these B1 Battle Droids are going to be, you've got to set them up, you got to deploy them appropriately, and you've also got to keep them close enough together during the entire course of the match. So additionally, they also get a couple of other things. They're going to get some heavy weapons, folks. They get the extra personnel. It's only 6 for the extra personnel. I imagine the heavy weapons won't be too expensive either. Now, heavy weapons do add better dice, which is going to help with your AI attack. You've got like an ESC B1 trooper, which is looks like one other 1 to 3 with looks like 3 black dice, and we've got another one with impact 2, a red and 2 black, range 2 to 4. I don't know if it requires you to exhaust it or not, but I'm going to guess that it'll probably be an exhaust because most of the rockets tend to be exhaust. And then we've got Electro Binoculars, which is an equipment that's going to give you spotter, and that's pretty cool. But it's equipment, and it doesn't look like they can take equipment. So, you know, like that's a little wild because it looks like. And I wonder if there's a misprint, because why are they getting equipment in their spread when they can't take equipment? Unless there's another upgrade card that gives them the ability to take equipment. Maybe that's that missing little comm upgrade. I think, as I look at them, I think Ace Q uplink would be huge on these. If you're in case your commander ends up getting pulled too far away from your B1 Battle Droids, you can just have one of them be like boom, and then spread it out to everybody else. You could do that. Of course, if that one dies, then you have a problem. So that Electro Binocular seems interesting. But here's the thing, like, so this is like an example of maybe daisy chaining, like crude artwork, I know, but you know, if my commander's all the way on the right-hand side of the map, I issue one order there, then they can issue it and issue it and issue it and issue it and issue it. And then I can have a whole line straight up out of episode 1, right, of my droids just marching down the field. Now, there are a couple of complications with something like this, because first off, you're going to have a tremendous field of fire when you do this. You're going to have a lot of battlefield control, which is cool. You know, I have no problem with that. But here's the thing. All it takes is for maybe that second droid in the chain to get killed, and it disrupts your entire chain, and now all of a sudden the other 4 are effectively being controlled by your opponent almost, because they can deliberately, you know, put, you know, one, you know, well defensible person in the middle and then force all your droids to shoot at them and miss, you know, especially if there's somebody behind heavy cover. You know, good luck, you know, maybe you'll get one crit through, you know. So, you know, like a Luke Skywalker, for example, is a great example, or an Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? You hide them behind heavy cover in front of all those other droids that aren't able to get tokens now, and they're gonna be forced to shoot, which is gonna be rough, you know. So I think definitely, you know, maybe having them extra close together, so this way, in case one dies, the daisy chain isn't completely interrupted. I think it's going to impact your gameplay. You're going to have to be prepared for something like that to happen, and then begin to converge them a little bit closer, so in case the chain is interrupted, in case their internet goes down, that they have redundancy. And so that's, I think, going to be one of the tricks to trying to play droids. But a good counter to that is going to be mines and bombs, you know, like your saboteurs. Oh, you want to put all your droids close together? No problem. Boom, I just hit 5 units. I guess they might be able to actually deal with that, though, because of the fact that they have so many minis per unit. They can probably take a mine and still survive. So that's really going to be an interesting play and balance, and the checks and balance, like a rock, scissors, paper mechanic, and how all of that is going to work. But there's one more thing I want to talk about. A really bad upgrade that I've never, ever found myself wanting to use in this game that suddenly might be really, really cool. And that's Comms Jammer. Comms Jammer is 15 points, incredibly expensive upgrade, and it's always been kind of trash in my opinion, because I always, you know, it became apparent to me very early that you could just issue orders to the right units that you wanted and then pull from the pile from everybody else, especially if you issue, you know, especially if you build a list that's very, very core heavy, you can always just pull from the pile and activate a unit. And and then I never really cared about much else. And even if you were to Comms Jammer my commander and I couldn't, well, I still have a pretty good chance of pulling a core from the pile. So, you know, I still have, at best, you inhibit my, turn a little bit. So I never thought Comms Jammer was really that good. It does have potential cases where it can be very, very effective, but those type of builds, I think, are a little bit more few and far between, where you're going to have a heavy, a support, a special forces, a commander, and a core all, within range 1 of an enemy unit with Comms Jammer. So maybe you put this on a speeder bike, fly it right into my stuff. Well, I'll just kill your speeder bike, because they're not that defensible. So that's the problem. But here's the thing: Comms Jammer now against these droids, now you've completely interrupted their coordinate and their daisy chain. You fly that Comms Jammer into the middle of stuff. Now all of a sudden these droids are now inefficient and discombobulated. They have to attack first. They're not going to be able to aim or move or anything like that. So you're really kind of throwing things up. So maybe you park your speeder bikes kind of just behind a wall so that they have heavy cover now too. So or behind a tree, since they have speeder 1. That it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be. I think comms jammer is definitely gonna be an option. Maybe not mandatory, but at least an option against droid swarm. So that's gonna be pretty cool. Be cool to see. If more future droids have similar type of AI, I think that's going to be something worth looking at, because if we look at this one, it says AI : attack. So there could be other types of AIs. There could be AI aim, where you must aim first. That one, of course, you wouldn't really have as much control over, and that one could be good or bad. There could be all types of different AI. There could be AI move, there could be AI attack, there could be AI standby, which would be really interesting. So my point is there could be a lot of different AI and programming, and some of it could be good or bad. Well, generally, most of it is taking away your choice. So most of it is probably going to be bad, but it's going to be really interesting to see how all of these different droids end up playing out, especially the B2 Battle Droids. If there's one on the cover, so presumably those are going to arrive at some point. There's going to be lots of different droids. It'll be interesting to see how many of them have AI. And how that's going to change the separatist kind of daisy chain and AI and command micromanaging strategy. Maybe we'll even see a commander that removes AI from everybody within him. Like all of your B1 Battle Droids no longer have AI. Now they're completely sentient. Like IG-88, I could see if they did IG-88 as like a droid commander, completely giving them all free will. Or L3 from Solo: A Star Wars Story, right? Like liberating the droids and saying, you're free, and they're like, well, all right, we're free. I don't know. Let me know. Maybe that's a bridge too far. Maybe we're speculating just a little bit too far out of the box. But I'd love to hear what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think. You can check out Crabbok.com. You can hop in my Discord as well and talk to us over there. Always happy to talk about Legion, Armada, X-Wing, board games, Star Wars, movies, Avengers, Endgame, Game of Thrones, whatever you want to talk. We're geeks. We're hanging out, having a good time. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.